think. Good morning, good morning, good morning. How is everyone this morning? Hopefully everyone is doing well. We are going to be making this little cat coaster today. Dun, dun, dun. Did some more rearranging in my craft room this morning. Got my printer and all of my shipping stuff over here on this side of the room. I need to find a spot to put my scale, but we'll figure it out. I might have to move some of these bins around over here and make a spot right here, right next to my desk. Good morning, Shauna. Channel Surf, good morning from Texas. How are you this morning? So we are going to get started on this. I do only have about an hour and a half approximately with you guys today. Whatever we don't finish up, we will finish up tomorrow. If you do happen to miss the start of this, I will be downloading these crochet alongs and putting them in over on my YouTube page, so that they will be there as tutorials for you to follow along later if you like. I did link this in my link tree. If you go back on my profile page, it should be the very top link. And we're going to go ahead and get started. So we're going to start out with some yellow. I have a light yellow here. There we go. Pull a little bit of that out. We're going to work with some of the black yarn here. And boy, if this isn't a mess, I'll have to fix this later. That is a mess. I think that goes over on the other side, so we're going to fix that really quickly. Then I won't have to do it later. There we go. So yeah, I've been rearranging my craft room, getting things rearranged. And I know how people are. Until the room is functional, I'll keep moving it until it's functional the way I want it to be. So we are going to start with a chain of 31 because we need 30 stitches. And this is going to have to be pulled off from around the outside here. Don't need that much of it, but still. What we are going to be doing, I'm going to be talking about bobbins today. The necessity for bobbins when you are working two separate sections of colors here. You can run them through, but you're going to waste yarn running them through. But I'll show you how to do bobbins or just how to run it through and work over it. So for bobbins, you are going to need some cardboard or the plastic bobbins that you can wrap your yarn around. And I know I said I didn't need this much white, but we just pulled it all out like a crazy person over here. All right, so we are going to chain 30. Haley Beth, good morning. How are you, love? You took the day off for this. Oh my goodness, you didn't have to do that. But yeah, sometimes you just need a mental health day and you have to take the day off. All right, so we're going to attach our yarn on. However it's easier for you to attach your yarn on, I'm going to show you how I do a slip knot really quickly. Take the tail of the yarn and lay it over top of the working yarn that goes to the skein. You can see it's laid over top. I'm going to pinch it right there. I'm going to make another little loop right here, and I'm going to put it through my original loop. This is the loop I put on my crochet hook. Now I'm going to take the tail of my yarn and the working yarn, tighten that little knot up there, and then I'm going to drop the tail and just pull on the working yarn until it's secure to my crochet hook. Good morning, Witchy, Wicked Witchy Creations. How are you this morning? So we are going to chain 30. Now to do a chain, we are basically just doing a yarn over. We are going to press our crochet hook back against our working yarn here, and we are going to rotate it around our index finger to actually twist. Thank you for the gifts, Wicked Witchy. And then we're going to pull that loop through. As you can see, snatch the yarn under the hook, twist the hook downward a quarter turn, pull it through the loop. All right, we're going to do 31 of these. So I have 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Have a great day, Wicked Witchy. 18, 19, 20, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, and 31. We are going to be working a single crochet. Nuh-uh. What do you mean, Kristen? Nuh-uh. We are going to be working a single crochet graphgan style coaster. We will be doing single crochets all the way through. I will show you how I do my color changes. Not everybody does the color changes the same way. Things are a little customizable with this craft. So we've got 3 things of yarn. We've chained 31 and we're getting ready to start working on this graph. This graph here I did put in my link tree. It should be the very first link. Back on my profile page, I'll give you all a few minutes to go ahead and pull it up on the computer so you can see the graph. If not, I can tell you from here what it is. But yes, this graph is all set up and ready to go. So I'll give everybody a few seconds while I caffeinate a little bit more, and we'll get started on this. Again, above my videos, back on my profile page is my link tree, and it should be the very top link for this chart. I did link it into one of my Pinterest boards, which is available to the public. If not, again, and you don't have the ability to print it out or a computer or whatever, I've got it right here. I'm going to be counting, and we will zoom in just a little bit so we can see the whole chart. And we're going to count here, okay? So we have 7 stitches that we're going to make in this yellow. All right, let me move this up a little bit, make sure I'm up past my comments. 7 stitches. So to start out with the single crochet, you never start in the first chain. You're going to skip that first chain, which is the first little V below your crochet hook. You never count the loop on your hook because it hasn't been worked through yet. Okay, so into the second chain from the hook, which is this one right here under my thumb, we are going to go into the back loop. It's hard to catch all the loops when you start your first row, so we're only going to do the back loop all the way across here. Okay, and we are going to perform a single crochet. For those of you who aren't quite sure how to perform a single crochet, you're going to go into your stitch here, into the back loop. Okay, I've only got 1 strand of yarn there. You're going to yarn over and pull your loop through. Then you're going to yarn over and pull through 2 loops. Okay, we're going to do this 5 more times here, a total of 7 stitches in this yellow. Okay, there's 3. And if anyone needs to see the stitches again, please let me know. I will slow down and show you all of the stitches. We're actually going to only be doing single crochets all the way through here. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now on the 7th stitch, we're not going to finish that stitch. This is the 7th stitch. We're going to go in, yarn over, and pull up a loop, and we're going to stop right here. Okay? I'm going to work over this yellow, or actually I think I'm not going to work over the yellow because that's a lot of yarn. I will be showing you how to do another bobbin over here on the other side. So what I'm going to have to do, and I really hate to do this and I should have done it before, is pull some of this yellow out for the other side, and I can pull more out as I need to. Normally I will have wrapped cardboard and made a bobbin, and I think what I'll do before we get too far along here, I will show you exactly how I make a cardboard bobbin. Watch out, turd butt. Watch out. Now he lays behind my chair so I can't get up. All right, let me get a little piece of cardboard from over here. I've got cardboard boxes everywhere. Now, you can go out to the craft store if you like, and I caught my sweater on something here, and I'm getting ready to drop everything everywhere. You can go to the craft store and buy the plastic bobbins if you want to. I don't. I have cardboard everywhere. What I'll do is I will cut this down to where they're smaller. You know, you don't need a huge piece of cardboard. This is maybe a 1/2 inch wide. And I will put little notches in the bottom and in the top. And I'll put them on opposite sides. Now what I'll do is I'll take my yarn, snatch it down into one of those little things there, and then I will just wrap some yarn around this card. Okay. All this yarn that I pulled out, I'll wrap on this card, and I'll show you how I do the bobbins. I've been rushing around like a crazy person this morning trying to get everyone else taken care of. And then this one will just go right here until I'm ready to use it. And I should have been more on the prep this morning, but I finished weaving in the ends on my sleeves. So okay, we didn't finish off the 7th stitch here. So this is where we're going to do our color change at this point, and this bobbin will come in here in a minute. So we wound up a bobbin and it's off to the side. So we are going to just drop the yellow string, and we're going to pick up the black color, which we're going to go to next. We have 16 stitches in the black. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a little, I'm going to fold the yarn back over my hand as such. This gives me enough to weave in on the back side. So I'm going to make a little loop where I had folded it in half, and I'm going to put that on my crochet hook. And then I'm going to pull that right through there. Now, we're going to leave the yellow hanging because I'm going to come back to that when we work back across. I'm going to hold the tail of the black yarn on the top of my work, and I'm going to do those 16 black stitches in the next 16 stitches. So into the next stitch, and we are going to work over the tail, but you can see I'm holding it over top of the chain, not behind it. Over top of the chain, it'll disappear and it won't show through on the back side. So 16 stitches in black. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Get this to hold down here now. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, and remember, when we get to 16, we're not going to finish it off. Here's 15, and here's 16. Now for stitch number 16, we're going to stop right there, and we are not going to finish this off. Not this stitch. We're going to drop, actually I'm going to go ahead and clip that tail off because I've wove it in under enough that it should be okay. Clip it off, leave a little, my notorious little stubby there, which that's a little bit more than a stubby. Okay, now what we're going to do is we're going to drop this black yarn, and I'm going to grab my bobbin here. Okay, this bobbin is going to work these threads on this side. The yarn that I left back before I started the black stitches will work this side. I will do 2 separate bobbins here, or I will work over these because there's not that many stitches. So I'll show you the difference between bobbins and working through. Okay, so I saw a question there. Hey, Shirley, good morning. How are you, love? All right. So I'm going to unwind a little bit of this bobbin thread, and then I'm going to latch it back in here. Okay. So again, folding my yarn back over my hand so I have enough to weave in. I'm going to make that little loop, put that loop on my crochet hook, pull it through. This point here, I'm going to make sure that everything is tightened up. Make sure that that black loop is tightened up, and tighten that one up. We are not going to work over that black yarn. We're going to leave it hanging in the back. I'm not going to work over it, just leave it hang. And we're going to go ahead and finish this row out with the yellow stitches all the way to the end of the row. Okay, now again, I'm going to show you when we get to the end of the row and I turn this over. I'm trying to be careful of my time because, again, a half hour to get ready is kind of rushing it for me, but we'll do it. Here's my last stitch. Okay, now you can just let the bobbin hang. If you want to tighten it up and bring it closer up to your work, you can do that. I'm just let it hang in the back. And I'm going to have to pull some more out because we have to do some more yellow stitches. So pull a little bit more of this bobbin out, secure it back down on there. Okay. Now to turn our work, we're going to turn our work around and we're going to work back across this row, and we're going to work row number 2 all the way back across. We're going to have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 stitches in yellow. Then we're going to have 14 in the black, and then we're going to have 8 stitches on the other side. Okay, so let me double check and make sure I'm not missing any comments. Luz, good morning. We've just started. We did a chain of 30, and then we did the first row. 7 in yellow, 16 in black, 7 in yellow. We're getting ready to start the second row. If you don't have time to hang out, I will be uploading this to my YouTube channel, and it'll be there for the longevity. I don't know if we'll get it finished today. If not, we'll come back tomorrow and finish it up, and then I'll be back on Friday for my regular live. This chart is in my Pinterest. So now to turn our row, yes, I will, White Raven, I will. I'm going to chain 1 before I turn my work. So I've chained 1. Now I'm going to turn my work. Now you can see here along the back side where I've worked over, the color stops really, really sharply because of the way I did the color change. It doesn't drag over into the next color on the top. So we are going to go ahead and do our 8 single crochets. Now we are going to go through both loops, the front loop and the back loop. So into this little divot right here, you see these little shadowy holes here. That's where we're going to be putting our stitches. Okay. So right into this very first one right here on the edge, we're going to do our first single crochet, and we are going to do 7 more. So 8 in total. This is 2. If anyone needs to see the single crochet stitches, please let me know because I'm here to teach beginner all the way up. It's 3, 4, 5, 6, and on the last stitch, remember not to finish it because we got to do the color change. 7. Now, because we don't want this color to show when we drag it, if I can get these things out of the way, over to the other side, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this black color, if I can get everything apart here. That's the thing about bobbins and a lot of string. And I'm going to hold it so that I work around it, so that underneath of this 8 stitch, I'm catching that black yarn underneath or behind the stitch. I'm actually going to go underneath and then go into this very next stitch right here. Okay, this will be my 8th stitch. We're not going to finish it off because we are going to drop this yellow. Now when we drop the yellow this time, we have to bring it over this way and drop it to this side. You don't want that yellow hanging out in the front. It will put a yellow mark on the front of your work. So here we have brought it over to the back side, and then we're going to start with finish off this yellow stitch, and then we are going to start the 14 stitches that we need in the black. Now your yellow bobbin is just going to hang out right here. It's ready for our next yellow stitch when we come through. Okay, so again, and I think I should have left that to the front side. Let's take that to the front side just in case, because it is going to be on the front side. No, leave it to the back. We'll see if we can get this done. It's been a while since I've done one of these graphgans, knowing which way to leave the color, but we'll find out together. Okay, so we're going to go on and do 14 stitches here in the black. This is 1, 2, 3, 4. And I don't know why all of a sudden I'm having a hot flash, I think, because it's not that warm in this room. And we are going to stop 1 short here because, again, I lost count there. And I got my strings all mixed up, so I'm pulling yellow and black out at the same time. We don't need all of that. Let's continue on here. Okay, and this will be our last stitch here, 14 right here. This one over top of this black one will be a yellow stitch. So again, do not finish the stitch all the way off to here. What we're going to do is lay the black down to the back, and we're going to pick up this yellow. We should have worked the yellow over underneath of that stitch. Let me back up here and show you how to do that again. That way you don't see all the strings on the back side of your work. So when I go in to do this stitch right here, I want to come around this yellow and go into that stitch, and this is going to be a pain. Here we go. Bring it over just like this. Go into your stitch. That way it's over underneath of here. Okay. And we weren't supposed to pull the yellow through. We were supposed to pull the black through. And I got that all off in the wrong spot. Here we go. Bring this over this way. Go into that stitch. Now we'll do the black stitch here. See how that brings that over? We probably should have worked it over a little bit, knowing that we should have worked it underneath of these 2 black stitches on the last row. But it's the back side of our coaster. We'll be okay. So now we're going to go ahead and pull that yellow through to finish off that stitch. And then we are going to drop the black to the back. Now we will continue on and finish out the rest of the row with the yellow. Now if I would have worked that yellow over here, it's a little pre-planning on the row prior to the one you're working on. So I will tell you what the boo-boo that I did and what should have been done when we get done here. We had the yellow stopped here, and it's going to start back up here. So what I should have done when I dropped the yellow here on this very first row, I should have worked it underneath the first 2 black stitches. That way it would have been ready to be worked under this one and head back the other way. This will help prevent gaps and pulling open of your stitches in your work, making sure that you've got these parked in the right spot. When you drop a string and let it go and work the rest of the way, you are parking that string right there. So 1 more stitch here, and then we will work back the other way. Now again, we're going to chain 1. We're not going to get much of this done today because I have about another hour here with you guys. Okay, so we're going to chain 1. We're going to turn our work, and you can see everything's nice and crisp and clear. It's all matching up to what we have here. Okay. I don't know if you can see over my comments here, but we've got this row here and this second row. We're going to start row number 3. Now you notice on this chart, just to give you a little information about charts, looking at the chart, it will tell you how you're going to work this project. Because the numbers are on opposite sides of the chart, 1, 2, 3, 4, this is going to be worked flat. If all the numbers went up one side of the chart, 1, 2, 3, 4, you're going to be working it in the round. Okay. No, Janice, we are working a single crochet graphgan style coaster here. Might be a little bit bigger than the 6-inch coaster. Let me see. Yeah, this is almost 17.5 inches because it was a 30 pixel graph. Made it a little bigger than my 20 stitch. And I'm going to unwrap this a little bit just so I have it here. Now we have the same number of stitches back. So we're going to basically repeat the row that we just did because row 3 is the same as row 2. So we are going to work all of our yellow stitches over to 8 stitches in total. Again, remembering, which I have a hard time remembering sometimes, It's like a puzzle. You can actually make puzzle pieces and have your own little crocheted puzzle. Okay, here is the 8th stitch right here. So what we are going to do, you see I picked the black one up. I'm going to go through my stitch and I'm going to make sure that the black one is under my crochet hook. So when I go to finish that yellow stitch, it gets trapped underneath of there. Okay, now I'm going to drop the yellow. I'm going to leave it to the back, but I'm going to work over it because we need to move it over 1 block for the next row, for row 4. Okay, so when I do this black stitch, I'm going to finish off the yellow here. Then I'm going to do my next black stitch working over the yellow so it pulls it over to where it needs to be for the next row. Okay, now I'll drop it to the back. And actually I think I need to drop it to the front, but I'm not sure. I'm going to leave it in the back. So now we have 12 stitches, no, we have 14 stitches across, row 3, same. So 14 stitches in black. We're going to do those 14 stitches. And again, if anyone is having issues, put a hook on mine and hang them on the wall. Yep, they can do tapestries. You can crochet around the top of a dowel, hang it up with a dowel, you know. So yeah, there's a lot of different ways that you can hang these up. Okay, so, and this one was actually a graph pulled off of Pinterest for a squares that you can make a cat blanket out of. You could also take these squares and make a sweater out of them if you like. It had several different, and here we have our last black stitch right here. Let me make sure. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Yep, this will be 14. So we won't finish off this stitch. We will do our color change. There is our 2 stitches. We are going to drop the black, and we probably should have brought the yellow one over, but we're okay. We're going to go ahead and finish off the stitch with the yellow. Leave the black hanging in the back, and we are all good. Finish out the rest of the row with your yellow stitches. And again, if anyone's having issues with these stitches, please let me know. I can slow down and demonstrate the single crochet a little bit more for the beginning crocheters. But yeah, this is just basic single crochet stitches and color changes. Okay, now I need to pull some more of this bobbin out. And just pull some of it out. Secure it back on. Now, before I discovered bobbins, I used to have multiple different skeins caked up like this, and I would have one for this side and one for this side. I would have a cake for the white eye and a cake for this white eye. So I'd have a lot of cakes of yarn, and yeah, the strings would get all kerfuffled. But yeah, I'm getting ready to challenge myself doing another blanket. And here we are. I don't know why that one doesn't look like it went over far enough, but we do have the yellow stitch there. Maybe I didn't bring the yellow to the front or the back. I'll have to do a little more examining of this. Again, it's been a while since I've done one of these. So we're on to row number 4. We have 9 yellow stitches. Then we are going to have 12 black stitches and then 9 yellow stitches again. Cuddle and crochet. This was a grid that was already done on Pinterest, but I use Stitch Fiddle. It is a website, and you can plot anything on there. It works almost like Paint. It's like Paint and Excel mixed together. It gives you the grid. If you know how to do crochet gauge, you can size anything you want. You can import pictures. Basically, it's computerized graph paper for you to design on. So yeah. All right, so we're going to chain 1, and we are going to start with row 4. Turn our work, and we have 9 of these single crochets here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I can get this up here. There we go. 6, 7. Now we are going to work over this black one here in a minute. I need to pull a little more of this out because it's not allowing me to get a hold of it like I like. There we go. Let me see how many we got now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. This will be 8. And I'm going to go ahead and pull this black yarn over here so I can go through this 8 stitch here. And then start here with 9. We're not going to finish off 9. We are going to drop the yellow yarn. And I do believe that we need to bring that to the back. Just bring it to the back and then finish off your stitch. Now we have 12 black stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Now we're going to have to pull the yellow over again because here is 12. So we're basically just pulling that yellow over so that we can go into the next stitch. We'll gather that up on there. And again, we should have worked over it. You wouldn't see it on the back side or have to pull it over. All right. Now here is, what's that, 12? 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Yes, I shouldn't have finished that stitch off. So there's 12. Again, bring your black yarn to the back, pick your yellow yarn up. And again, if we would have worked that over before we finished that row, we wouldn't have had that yellow coming up the back. So making sure you work over your yellow color here, it will bring it right up and you won't see all of this stretching through. So I'm forgetting to work over those. All right, again, a learning process here. All right. So the rest of the row, we're going to finish out with single crochets. You should have 9. 5, 6, 7, 8, and one more makes 9. And then we're going to chain 1. Is everyone doing okay? Everyone keeping up? If anyone's falling behind, please let me know. And again, if you were not here for the beginning, I will be uploading this to YouTube once we get the full thing done here. And we are slowly coming up. This is going to look more square because there's square shapes on here. But yes, we are coming right on along. So we are on to, I think, row 6 now, because we did this one here. Yep. So row 6, or row 7, I'm sorry. Or row 5. My goodness, I can't see my own little print. It's awful tiny here. Row 5. Again, it's a repeat of the row prior. So we already did our chain here. We're going to start our next row with 9 single crochets. Seven, 8, and here comes 9. Get the yellow. We're going to drop the yellow, and we don't have to work over it this time because the next row we're going to come out to with the black. So when we do this row on the way back, we're going to have to move this yellow over. When we park this yellow in here, we're going to have to work over it for a couple of stitches, or the black for a couple of stitches, so that it moves it over to where we need it. So I'll make sure to do that. So here we're going to finish off stitch number 9 with the black loop. And we don't have to work over that yellow this time because we have to back it up this way. We'll work over it on the way back. So we will go ahead with, I think it looks like 16 stitches again. Yep. 16 stitches in the black. 3, 4, thank you for all the love, guys. 6, 7, is it 12? Yes, I'm here to be valuable. Let me see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, it is 12 because it's the same. I'm looking at the next row. Thank you, White Raven. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 12 stitches. Okay, so it should match, and I'm going to bring my yellow. I'm going to work around my yellow again. Okay, now I'm going to drop the black and finish off the stitch with the yellow. All right, and finish out the row with yellow, and I have to work over the black because the black starts 2 stitches back. So the next 2 yellow stitches, I'm going to be working over top of the black yarn so I can move it over where it needs to be. Okay, and then I'm going to drop that one and work the rest of my row. What I did was I moved the black over 2 stitches so it's ready over here, so we don't have it drawing across our work like this. And this is the back side, so we're okay. And this is my coaster. Had it been a coaster for someone else, I definitely would have took that back and fixed it. Okay, pull out some yarn here off of our bobbin so we can complete our row. And I'm getting ready to do a pretty big blanket here, probably after Christmas, starting the new year. And I plan on doing it in just this because it has a ton of color changes. Chain 1, and we're going to turn our row. Now we're working back across to row 6. So we have 7 stitches in the yellow. All right. I can tell that because I know that this grid from this dark line to this dark line here, from the start of the row, that's 5 stitches. Okay. I'm going to pull out a little bit more of this. So we are doing 7 stitches. 3, 4, 5, 6, and let's see where our black yarn is, right here. So we're going to pull our black yarn over to here. We probably didn't pull it far enough. And again, bring your little loop over and then go in to your stitch. That way your black is brought over there to the side. Okay, now we're going to bring the yellow to the back, pick up the black, and I still didn't do something right because that's taken that up. We probably had to go over 3 stitches with that and then work over it. Now we're going to work the black stitches, and again it looks like we have 16 stitches across here, same as we had in the first row. So 16 black single crochet stitches we are working. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and I'll show you a little trick about working with black yarn. 10, 11, 12, 13, and again we're going to have to work over this yellow yarn. 14. We're going to catch it right here because it's right below 15. So again, come up underneath of that, go into your stitch, and that brings that right up over there. There's 15, and again, here comes 16, and we're not going to finish off 16 with the black. We're going to bring the black to the back, and we are going to finish that stitch off with the yellow. Okay, and then finish out the rest of the row in yellow stitches. Should be 7. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Single crochet graphgan style, yes, it is. And I'm going to chain 1, and then I'm going to turn my work again. So here we are coming up underneath the front of the face here. And we should have moved the yellow yarn over again. I don't think I did move it over, or the black yarn. No, I should have worked it over 3 of these stitches so it would have been ready for the next. When I'm crocheting on the back side of my work, I'm going through both loops, the front loop and the back loop. Yes, I'm working through both loops currently. If you work through the back loop all the time, and I think my chain was a little tight because it wants to round at the bottom. If you go through just the back loop all the time, you're going to have a little ridgy effect. And that might affect how your coffee cup or whatever, because we're doing a coaster, would sit on this. Yeah, this is fun. I've done this with blankets. I'm getting ready to do a large themed blanket, and it has tons of color changes in it. I'm going to have to purchase a bunch of yarn to make sure I have all the same dye lot. And yeah, it's going to be a fun do. Definitely fun do. So I'm keeping track of my time here. I'm going to give us another half hour, go all the way up until, well, actually another 20 minutes, and work all the way up to 8:15. And then we will finish what we haven't finished tomorrow. So off onto the next row. We are up to row 7. Okay. We have 5 yellow. And then we have 20 in the black stitches. Yeah. 20 in the black stitches. So we're going to start out with the 5 yellow stitches. And I don't have all of that loop there. There we go. So again, we should have worked this black yarn over so that it would have been here available. And actually, I'm going to show you that. You don't have to pull your work back. Again, that is on the back side. But if you are super, super crazy about stuff being done right, I'm going to show you the right way. We have to move this over. You see here we have 2 spaces of black that are going to be on top of the yellow. We parked our black back here, and we don't want to drag it all the way over to here because that's going to drag it up the back side like we did here. Okay, for me this is no big deal. But what we're going to do, we have 2 black spaces over the yellow spaces. So we know we're going to have to move our black over 3 stitches. So when we start our yellow stitches on that row, we are going to work over the black as if we are weaving it in for 3 stitches. Okay, and we're going to park it right there on the back and then finish that row. Then we will turn our row and work our 5 stitches. Okay, do our chain. Now we are here. We are going to work our 5 stitches here and then pick up that black. So 1, 2, 3. Here at 4, you can see I'm coming up here at 4. I'm going to go ahead and do 4. I'm not going to work over the black. I'm going to push it to the side, move it over to this way so it's nowhere near that yellow. Okay, and this is where we're going to pull through, is that 5 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4. Nope, 1 more. Okay, and then 5 will be here. Okay, now what I am going to do when I put my crochet hook through here, I'm going to bring the black over to this side, and I'm going to work over top as I start to do this stitch. Okay, now again, bring the yellow forward, pick up your black yarn, and go ahead and finish that stitch off. Now we're going to do the 2 black stitches here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to try and catch underneath the black that I worked over, because you see that black hanging out right there. I'm going to try and go underneath through the stitches, but go underneath of that black stitch so it's on top of my crochet hook. So that way when I do, and this is a tip and trick for the beginners, the intermediate, and the advanced, so that when I finish this black stitch, it's almost going to make that black yarn that you see through here disappear, because I'm actually pulling it up with the black stitches. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and work these 20 stitches across this way. Okay, there's 3, 4, I only got through one leg there, 5, 6, 7. Thank you for all the love, guys, and the heart me's, and all the follows. J-Doll. Dolce Josephina, thank you for the heart me. Welcome to the club. So yeah, I'm here Monday, Wednesday, Friday. I am going to be hosting little crochet alongs like we're doing today. All right, now we have the yellow hanging out here in the back. I felt it come along, so I'm going to pick it up and just wrap it gently around my crochet hook, and I'm going to work over that one there, and we're going to bring it over with us because we have to go over 2 more stitches here. And while I have you here on a black row, and I want to doubly make sure. All right, now we're going to pull through and stop right there because we have to pull our yellow through to finish that. Now, if you're working with black yarn and you have a hard time counting your stitches and seeing your stitches, I'm going to show you a little trick. You see how you can see all these little lumps right here. If you hold your work against a white piece of paper or a lighter background, you can count those little lumps and know how many stitches you have. Okay? Yes, I will be posting that on YouTube when I'm finished. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, and this is my 20th stitch here. So again, we're going to bring the black to the front, right in between there, just like that. You don't have to pull it really, really snug. We're going to go ahead and finish that stitch off with the yellow because that's our color change. And again, we need to move over. So on our next row, the black moves over 1. So we're going to have to work over the black for 1 stitch. We're only going to do 1 instead of 2. So right here, when we go to do our next stitch, we're going to hold the black yarn up and we're going to work over it. Okay? And I caught both legs, yep. And then we're just going to let it hang out here. We're going to drag it to the front and let it hang out. All right, we got that stitch. And finish out the rest of the stitches there. You should have a total of 5. And you can see everything getting twisted up here. I'm going to go ahead and take this last little bit of yarn, and I'll have to redo another bobbin for this side. Okay, and finish up the last of these stitches. We're going to chain 1, and we're going to turn our work. All right, now on this row, on the next row, which is row 8, yes? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Should be row 7, but we're not on the right side. We just did row 7, I think. Yeah, now we're on row 8. And I'm almost out of yarn here, so I'm going to show you again probably here how I have to add more in. We'll see if I need to. We are going to do 4 single crochets. 1, 2, get into the top of the stitch. 3, and I'm going to back up to this 3rd stitch because I need to add in some more yellow yarn. And I need to pull that from around the outside. And I could wrap that around a bobbin again, but I'm not. I'm just going to leave it hanging because, again, I like to fly by the seat of my pants when I do stuff. I'm going to find the end of the yarn now. There we go. And we're going to introduce this just like And we lost the end of the yarn again. Here we go. Just like a color change. I'm going to fold it back over my hand as such. Make sure I got enough for weaving in. Make a little loop right there, right onto the crochet hook. Pull it right through that yellow stitch. Now, what I'm going to do is gather both tails of the yarn. Snug everything up here. Not too tight, but, you know, like it should be. And I'm going to finish my next stitch, and I'm going to work over top of both of those, and I'm also going to have to bring my black stitch around the back side. Okay, so we have 4 stitches here, and we're going to do our color change. So our yellow working yarn comes to the front, and actually we're on the back side, so those strings are coming back here for the yellows too. And finish that stitch off with the black yarn. Now we have 22 stitches that we have to do in the black. So we're going to go ahead and start with the black stitches. 4. And this is secure. It's not going anywhere. All of this can hang out right here. Even the little tails of your yarn, you can weave those in later. They're not going anywhere. They're latched in there. So that's the thing, making sure that you take your floating yarn, the one you're not doing the stitches with just yet, and making sure that you move it over to have it in the right space for the next row. That's the deal. You always got to be looking at the next row to determine whether you need to work over your non-working yarn to move it to where you need it to be. Okay, and we have this yellow coming up here. So I'm going to go into my next stitch because the next stitch is a black stitch, bringing my working yarn up and over my crochet hook and just holding it loosely with my work so I can finish pulling that black stitch through. And then again, bringing the black yarn to the front, picking up the yellow yarn. You see how that twists together there when you fold it that way? Helps hold it in place. Okay, and then finish out the last 4 stitches in yellow. Trying to make sure I stay in camera frame because I know a couple of times I was off when I was talking and had to shuffle back over. And you can see your edges are a little ripply with the chain 1, but you know, that's about as straight as you're going to get it. Straight as it's going to be. So, do we have questions? Let me double check on questions. I'm kind of trying to push through. I know. Jordan, you did have a question. I do scroll back and check the comments. Yes, I do stop and answer questions. This is more, it's kind of teaching, but more so a crochet along. But again, always teaching over here. A lot of easy tutorials, yes. You can find a lot of easy tutorials. Dopamine Dawn, all of the links for my socials are in my link tree. Back on my profile page above my videos is a Linktree link. It links you to my Pinterest, my Facebook, my Messenger, my Instagram, just all of my socials. The direct links are right there. Yes, I do knit as well, Cassie, and I do teach knitting tutorials and do host knit-alongs. Yep. Okay, I think I'm back. Carolyn, I hope you are still here. I did see your comment about how to read the chart. Now, the chart will tell you how to read it based off of where the numbers are on the sides. You can see here I have a 1 on this side and a 2 on this side, then a 3 on this side, then a 4 on this side. When you have numbers on both sides of your graph, that's an indication you're going to be working it flat. If you have numbers that all go up the same side, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, that means you're going to be working it in the round. Okay? So, and I've got 18 new messages here, so I hope that I didn't miss anybody's messages. I'll scroll back again. Thank you, everyone, for all the follows. Sunflower, yes, I'm going through both loops. Now, on my first row, I only went through the back loop. It is too hard on the cast-on chain for me to get through both loops, so I only ever go through the back loop at the start. Miss Mindy, it says, this is the first gift you have ever sent. Thank you, thank you. Hey, Sass. Okay, I think I've got it all here. Jordan, if you did have other questions and I missed it, please post it again if you are still here. Crochet Queen, good morning. How are you? Grabbing another sip of my coffee here. So what I think I need to do, so I know what row we're on, is tink these off, because we just did row 7 and we did row 8. We are now on row 9, which is the row right below the eyes. Okay. Again, those of you who were not here from the start, I will be uploading this video into YouTube. I will probably wait until tomorrow to load it so that I have both parts loaded as one, and not have part by part by part. So if you missed the start, it'll be on YouTube. So row 9, we're going to start out with 3, and I don't know if we moved our black yarn over or not. We should have, but if not, it'll travel on the back side. It'll be just fine. 3 single crochets in yellow, or whatever background color you have chose to do yours with. Do not finish off the 3rd single crochet. You're going to stop right here. We are going to bring our yellow yarn to the front. We are going to grab a hold of our black yarn and finish off that stitch. Now, your black yarn is coming from a little distance away, because we did not pull it over to where it should have been to start. So what we're going to do, you can see this little piece that's hanging out here. We're going to catch it in this stitch right here when we start our stitches. Now we have 24 stitches to do in the black color. So again, when I go to do this next stitch, you see how this is up. I'm going to go into that stitch, and it's going to keep that black stitch up there. And I'm basically going to work over it, and it closes it right in on the back side. Little tips and tricks if you forget to move your parked yarn over or park it in the right spot. So now we're going to do 24 single crochets in the black stitch, or in the black yarn, 1 in each stitch across. When you come to the 24th stitch, do not completely finish it, because that's our color change. Okay. So here we go. Straight on across. On the way back, we'll be adding white in for the eyes. So you are going to have a lot of strings. I am going to go ahead and fix up 2 white bobbins before I get started, so everyone can see how the bobbins are made. I do have 2 other pieces of cardboard over here. You can purchase the plastic bobbins. Okay, now I'm going to catch the working yarn, yellow, over underneath of here. Am I underneath of here? No, we're going to leave it right where it's at, because we have to do 1 more stitch right here. And we will make sure that it's out of the way. Now, the black stitch, the black yarn comes to the front. You can see me holding it here to the front. I'm going to go ahead and finish off that stitch in yellow, and then start my next stitches. We don't need to move that over. It's going to go straight up from here, so we're good to go. So finish with the 3 yellow single crochets, or whatever color you chose for your background. Then you're going to chain 1, turn your work. All right, now this is starting to come out. We are looking at the back side of our work here. Okay, and you can see the cat's head is clearly coming out. Let me come up just a little bit more. Well, you can see all of that a little bit better on the camera there. Okay, and it is kind of bowing on me. I might have done this chain a little tight when I did my chain. If I block it, it should straighten it out, but after a while of being used as a coaster, it'll be just fine and dandy. Okay. Hey Chris, how are you doing, love? I'm going to be doing some little crochet alongs to help solidify, each stitch and a style within that stitch. So I will be uploading both parts of this to YouTube because we definitely will not get it finished today. We have about 14 more minutes. So we might get up to the eyeballs. If you feel froggy and so want to go ahead and continue on, if you think you've got it, go ahead. I will stop wherever we are at 8:15 and I will not pick it back up until tomorrow morning at 7 a.m. when I start the live back up again. Both lives will be downloaded and uploaded as one part to YouTube. So that way the tutorial will be there for this. And this is a free chart. It is came from Pinterest. I just did it up on Stitch Fiddle, so if I needed the directions, I could. Don't necessarily have to, but it allowed me to print it out a lot bigger. So we are going to continue on. Let me mark off. Oh, I just undid my pen. All right, stay out there. Row 9. So we are on to row 10 here. We have 3, then we have 24, then we have 3. So we're going to start out with our 3 yellow stitches here. You start out with whatever color background you chose to do. And again, I'm going to make sure I've got my black yarn set up here and ready to finish this stitch off. The yellow comes to the front. Pick up the black and do our color change here. Now, we don't have 24. We only have 3 black stitches. Then we're going to start the white. So I need to make 2 white bobbins. And while I'm doing this, I'm going to make another yellow bobbin because we're going to need it. Because we ran out. We'll need it eventually. Maybe won't do the yellow one. I'll do the yellow one later. So we're going to take our white yarn. And as you can see, I've got cardboard. I've snipped 2 little cuts here into this cardboard. I'm going to take my yarn, catch it into one of the little cuts there, and then I'm just going to wrap some yarn around this card. This will hold the yarn that I'm going to need to do both of the eyes. Probably do, we might carry the black over back and forth between the eyes because it's on both sides. And then just latch that into the top of the other one. Give us a little snip and we'll do one more. You can get the plastic bobbins if you like to have all the craft things. I use cardboard because it's free. I can save money on bobbins and use that to buy more yarn, other supplies that I need, or, take myself out to lunch. So here's our 2 white bobbins. And what I'm going to do is go ahead and pull out some off of one. So that way we're ready to start our stitches here in a minute. They say we always put our hair in our work, and by golly if we don't. Okay, so we have changed from the yellow to the black. We have 3 black stitches before we start the white. So here we're going to do 3 single crochets, not finishing off the 3rd single crochet here, because here's where we're going to do our color change. Now, we're not going to bring the black to the back. We're going to work over it because it's going to come over here, okay? I could make a black bobbin. I don't feel like it. So we're going to work over all of these white stitches, or work over the black with these white stitches for 6. So here we are going to, again, as I normally do, enough to weave in, make your little loop there, put it on your crochet hook, pull it right through that stitch. Now we're going to take the tail of that yarn and the black yarn, hold them together as we work those 6 white stitches. And we are going to work over both. Now you see that I have the black closest to the black and the white closest to the white. Reason I do this is because the white will fade in with the white and the black will fade in with the black. Okay, and we can actually just leave the white tail hanging there in the back. I've got one more stitch here to do in the white, and I think I grabbed sport weight white. All right, now I can continue working with this white, but I'm not going to. I'm going to go ahead, bring my white to the back, and pick my black back up because it's right there, right where I had worked over it. Finish off that stitch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 white stitches. Now we have 6 black stitches. So we're going to go ahead and start making sure we don't go into the same hole and do 6 black stitches here. Single crochet, 4, 5, and 6. I am working with a smaller crochet hook. Mine's going to look a lot tighter than yours if you're working with the size recommended for your yarn. So don't worry about that. Now I think we just finished off 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yep, we shouldn't have finished off this last stitch. So this is where we need to add in the white for our other eye. And again, we are going to work over the black because we need it over here. You can take, because running this black yarn back and forth, you're going to waste a lot of black yarn. Okay? It's not that many stitches, it's not that much yarn, but if you're really conservative on your yarn, I would recommend doing a bobbin every time you have a color change. So that way you don't waste a whole lot of your yarn. Now here, again, we are going to be working over that black yarn because we want to bring it back over, but we're ready for the other start of the eyeball. So we're going to pull some of this out and get ready to do 6 stitches in this white yarn here. And I think I need more than that. And again, folding it back, making my loop, putting my loop on my crochet hook, pulling them through both loops. Now getting a hold of the tail of the white yarn, snug everything up a little bit. You can see the black is closest to the black, the white is closest to the white. These are both my tails, or actually the black yarn and the tail of the white. I'm going to work over both of those as I do these next 6 stitches in white. 2, 3, 4, 5, and reminder for me and everyone else, do not finish your 6th stitch completely. Stop here, bring your white yarn to the back. You can bring the tail of the yarn to the back because we are on the back side of our work here. We're going to grab that black yarn up and finish off that stitch. And we have 3 stitches in black. 1, 2, 3. And here we're going to make sure we got that yellow because we're going to be changing colors again. Okay, the black yarn comes to the front of the work, which is what's facing you now. We're going to pick up the yellow yarn and go ahead and finish that stitch off, and then 3 yellow stitches to end that row. How's everyone doing with this? Is everyone enjoying this? Is everyone keeping up? And I'm going to go ahead and do my chain 1 and elongate that. We're going to turn this around and take a look and see what we got here. We are working our way right on up. Now, the thing about crochet graphgans, and here we have some boo-boos where we didn't bring our yarn to the right side or something. There's the black right there. Again, not positioning it in the right spot for it to go. I probably shouldn't have pulled it over. It was all set and ready to go right up there. Again, I haven't done this in a while, and yeah. Good, good, good. I'm glad that you're enjoying it. Good morning, Sandy. Haven't seen you in a while, love. How are you doing? How are you? Mel, thank you for the share. Vaughn has a question. When doing C2C, is each block counted the same as one stitch with changing colors? I guess that you meant to say changing colors. Yes. Whenever I do corner to corner, okay, whenever you're doing your last half double, double crochet, whatever you do corner to corner in, you're going to stop when you have 2 loops on your crochet hook, and you're going to finish by pulling that last loop through. Okay, I do all my color changes on the last yarn over and pull through to finish the stitch. If it's a slip stitch to join and I'm changing colors in the next row, my slip stitch is the color change. I will put the different color onto my crochet hook and make that my slip stitch to join the row. Okay, so yes, color changes are the same. All right, Dopamine Dawn. Kai, I'm here to help teach everything that all of my followers want to learn. My channel is set up to accommodate those who follow me. I want to teach, I want to share all the information, the resources and knowledge that I have about crochet and knit. And yes, I'm here to teach it all. So you tell me what you want to learn, and we go through. There was a question about graphgans, about coasters, because I had shown a corner-to-corner coaster. I'm probably just going to talk for the last 3 minutes if you guys want to work on. This was one that we did, and I do believe that I have this one over on YouTube. This and a mug rug that was knitted. But here's a coffee cup. Let me shrink down a little bit so you can see a little better. Here's a coffee cup that we did in corner to corner. You can't really tell that this was a different color by eye, but you can see it on the camera. And as I changed color, working this row here, as I changed color, it was on the very last. Basically, I've done 3 half double crochets, and when I go to change color, when you connect the 2 together with a slip stitch, this square to this square before you start the next one, that slip stitch is where I do my color change. Daydreamer, you are very, very welcome. So yeah. And then I also used like some gray heather. So this has got a little tonal thing to it, a little bit of darker grays, a little bit of lighter grays in here. So yeah. And I teach everything I do, whether it be knit or crochet. If you see something that I've done in any of my videos and you're like, oh, how do you do that? I'm here to teach it all. I'm here to teach it all. So we have gotten a third of the way through. We have actually done row 10. I'm going to stop here today, and we will definitely pick this back up tomorrow. White Raven, if you want to continue on and you think you've grasped the idea, continue on. Sandy, I'm on the same time normally, 7 a.m. like I always did, Eastern time, and I'm on Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Today is a crochet along. We will finish this up tomorrow. Daydreamer UK, I use a website called Stitch Fiddle. This was actually a chart on Pinterest. And I did link the chart for this in my Pinterest. Back on my profile page, right above my videos. Let me show you here really, really quickly, because I can show you over here. Make sure the volume's off so that the computer doesn't blow everybody away. Go to my profile. You'll be able to see that I'm currently live up here too. But on my profile page, right here, there's a Linktree link. When you click on this link, and I don't know if it's going to open up my editable from this side or not. It probably will. I don't know why. Up here where it says links, make sure you're on the link side. Here is the chart that we're using today. Under here are all of my socials where you can follow me. YouTube, it will take you directly to any of the tutorials that do not fit the 10-minute time slot over here at TikTok. So yeah, make sure you're on links. Now, as far as shop, there's been a couple of people who have asked what type of things I use. This is the hanger that I hang my phone off of to go live. I do have a laptop stand that rotates so that my laptop gets good air. These were all from where we made roses. Any other things that anybody asks, what do you use to go live? What do you know, I will post there so that everyone has the ability to take a look at that. Stitch Fiddle. I'll show you a little bit about Stitch Fiddle before I jump off of here. I'm currently in Stitch Fiddle. Here I can do a progress tracker, which will highlight whatever row I'm on, and I think I'm going to go ahead and put that up on row 10. We're actually on row 11 now. The premium portion, if I wanted to, and I think I'd have to put the directions in here because it's going to ask me to. Nope, they're in there. It'll tell you how many lemon stitches, how many black stitches. Now, also, something else that I can do to edit this in the colors over here. Okay, I just did a color chart because I know that I am doing single crochet the whole way through. If I was making this, Arlene, you have a great day, love. I'll see you again soon. If you were making this and you wanted to have the single crochet thing in there, Dopamine Dawn, you're welcome anytime. Good morning, Melody. If I wanted to put a symbol in there for single crochet, I can come over here to the basic crochet stitches, and I could put a single crochet in that lemon. And what it's going to do, okay, when I do my directions for the progress tracker, or written directions for, I gotta come over here, written directions for just whatever, it's really not telling me the single crochet there because I haven't done the definitions in here. That's why it would tell me single crochet. But yeah, I have to put the definitions in for the colors, even though I put the symbol in the yellow. So there's, yes, Melody, this is a graph. It's actually one that I pulled off of Pinterest. I do have a link for it in my link tree, which I just showed everybody where that was back on my profile page. I'll show you one more time. Come back here. Right here is the link. And when you click on this link, it will take you to the link tree. Make sure you come up to the top and click on links. Here is the link for the chart that we are currently using today. These are all links to all of my socials. This here is for YouTube. The tutorials that will not fit over here on TikTok. If it takes more than 10 minutes, which this live will and has, I'll piece both pieces together and plant it over on YouTube. Okay, yep. There's other projects on there, pretty long ones. You want to learn how to do, Melody, you want to learn how to do Stitch Fiddle, or you want to learn how to do the graphgan? Daydreamer, no worries. I'm here to share all the resources that I have. Okay, for Stitch Fiddle, if you go into your charts and create new, you've got all of these different techniques that you can use to create whatever custom craft you want. Okay, underneath of each one, I don't know if there's a whole lot under diamond painting, just empty your chart. But underneath of knit, there are several different styles of knit that will help you set up your chart. You still have to know how to do it. Underneath the crochet, several different. Now, you notice that the chart that we're working on, let me go back to that chart, this one here. If I wanted to change this to make it a corner to corner, and I'm going to show you the progress tracker for our chart currently, it's giving us a row like this. Okay, if I change this, that's not where I need to be. Nope. Here we go. If I change this from crocheted color work to corner to corner, it's going to change my chart. Okay. And then I come in here and go into the progress tracker. Our chart's going to go on the diagonal. Okay. It'll work your chart on the diagonal. I don't know why it's not highlighting the black stitches very well, but you see that it's diagonal, and you can see that there are, let me view this up a little bit more so you can see this a little bit better over here on the side, talking about how your charts are numbered. 1 on the diagonal, 2. This lets you know that this is a corner-to-corner crochet chart. Or it might be a knit chart that you work on the bias. So knowing how your charts are set up and what style uses different charts and how they're labeled, it will change your chart for you. And this will change it back when I turn the progress tracker back on, because I changed it back to, and it went all the way to the top. We are down here. Get that back on row 11 there. And that's where we'll start when we pick up tomorrow. You can count the squares. If I look at the bottom of the chart, right, I know that I've got 7. Let me come back down here to the first row. I know that I've got 7 because there's 7 right here. This would be 8 for these two. This would be 9. After working with charts for so long, you know. But yeah, if I set it up to where I was doing the directions, I can do color blocks on Stitch Fiddle. You can see it's going to tell me 7 in the lemon, 16 in black, 7 in the lemon. So as I go further on up, like around the eyes and stuff where we just finished, it's not because that's no stitch. Crap. I need to edit this chart. I need to add a white, and then I need to merge that nose stitch with the white. Now it's going to give me white stitches. 3 lemon, 2 black, 8 white, 4 black, 8 white, 2 black, and then 3 lemon. So it'll give you color block directions too. When I changed it, rows, I went up here into my chart settings, and then I come over here, craft is crochet, color work. Okay. Color work will set your chart up to where you're working flat, or you can select to work in the round. When I went to corner, it's going to change how my chart's labeled, and it's going to change how the progress tracker is highlighting my rows. Okay. Janice and the Mom Jeans, you have a great day. Yeah, Terry, the only thing about Stitch Fiddle is you cannot import a chart. You can import pictures. If you wanted to import a chart, I would suggest Knit Companion. Knit Companion will allow you to import patterns and such. Basically, Stitch Fiddle is here to create. You can copy a chart over. It takes a little while. But basically, it's here for you to create. Yeah. How do you know how much to roll? What do you mean by that, Em? How much to roll where? I am still learning, Terry, about Stitch Fiddle. There's a lot I have left to learn, but I will share everything. Okay, what I did was on Stitch Fiddle, and I'm not going to take too much time because I do have to get out of here. I went up to the 3 little bars over here, and then chart settings. I'm going to hit the chart settings, and it's going to open up all different kinds of chart settings that I can change. I can change the direction if I wanted to start, because here it's going to show me how to do it. If I wanted to start at the top or the bottom, or, alternate, whatever, you can change all of that here. As far as the chart, what I did to change from corner to single crochet or single crochet graphgan to corner. You just select whatever you're doing over here. These charts are interchangeable. I can take this chart and knit it. I can take this chart and do latch hook. I can take this same chart and do perler beads. So you can take knit companions only for knitting. It might be Brooklyn. I never, well, it does say knit companion. I have never had the ability to use knit companion because I did not have electronics that were compatible. I probably do now, but I'm so stuck with Stitch Fiddle. I absolutely love Stitch Fiddle. So, but yeah, you just change your stuff here. If you decide you don't want to do corner to corner and you want to do a single graphgan, you can change that. I can take the same chart that I have. Let me bring one of these charts up here. That's not what I want to do. Here. Go to all charts. Let's bring up my my skull chart. I can click up here, go to chart settings. This is set for knitting and colors. I can change this to cross stitch or crochet, and I can change it to corner crochet if I want. Governmental, what do you mean by governmental? I don't understand that comment. But yeah, all of this stuff is here for crafters to use. There are free and paid portions on Stitch Fiddle, so it really just depends on, and I'll probably leave this up when we come back because this will help me not have to count our rows. But yeah, it highlights your row. It tells you what to do. You have to know how to perform the stitches, and you have to know how to do the skill. It doesn't teach you that. But if you like to be creative, you can create whatever you want and stitch whatever you want. You don't have to be searching around for a pattern and say, oh, well, I have to settle for this because these are the stitches or this is the size. And yeah, you don't have to do all of that. So I'm going to go ahead and end for today. We did go almost to 8:30, and by the time I get off of here, it will be. So I'm going to be rushing around like a mad woman over here trying to get ready. So we will come back tomorrow. We will start on row 11 of this chart, and I will stay live long enough that we will complete this project. I'm going to leave this right here, so we will be starting right where we left off. So if you want to follow along, if you've missed some of it, again, I will be posting this crochet along in its entirety after we finish it up tomorrow. And I'm able to download tomorrow's portion. Sometimes it takes... White Raven, you're welcome. I'm here to help you guys. I want to teach you what you want to learn. So that's basically why I'm here. I've always wanted to teach knit and crochet. I've wanted to share the resources that I found along the way, all the little tips and tricks and all of that kind of stuff. So that's what I'm here for. So I'm going to wish everyone a great day. Come join me again tomorrow and we'll finish this up. We will be doing other knit alongs and crochet alongs depending on what my audience wants to do. And this is probably the only channel where you guys are going to be able to 100% say whether we do this or that or choose what we want to do. Okay? So I'm going to wish everyone a great day. I will be on at 7 a.m. Eastern. I am on Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 7 a.m. Eastern is my schedule. I'm usually on for an hour, sometimes 2, sometimes we pushed almost 3. It just depends on how well I'm feeling that day and what else I have to do that day. So we will continue on, and I hope to see most of you back tomorrow. Invite your friends. Tell anybody who wants to learn to knit and crochet. I do my best to be beginner friendly, add in little tips and tricks for the more experienced crocheters and knitters. So I kind of try to tailor it to everybody in the room. And we will get this down a little bit better here. We're practicing. Again, this is good practice for me because I haven't done a graphgan in years. And I couldn't remember whether we bring our yarn to the front, bring our yarn to the back. I might practice on a smaller one. later today, but this one here I'm just going to leave, and it will be sitting here until we come back tomorrow. So I will be right where everyone left off, or if you feel froggy and want to keep on trying to do it on your own, please do. So I will see everybody tomorrow, 7 a.m. Eastern time. Bring your crochet hook, knitting needles, yarn. Made it more memorable. Okay. Yeah, when you do it together with other people, it kind of takes the stigma of it being intimidating or too hard to do. And that's what I try to do. Break it down to as simple as I possibly can, showing you exactly where you're putting the stitches. I have moved my desk around and my room around. I will be a little more in tune tomorrow to make sure that I stay in camera frame. So, yes. So I'm going to wish everyone a great day. And as usual, may all your stitch counts match. Yes, that's for my big mistakes. I had it wrapped up. My son unwrapped it because he wanted to know, and this was years ago when he was in middle school. He's been in the military and had children of his own. He wanted to know if the writing was on this or on the plastic. But yeah. So, as usual, may all your stitch counts match, and happy crafting.